We are live at the 2012 Sun Belt Football Media Day. I'm Dan Harrelson alongside Nick Taylor, and let's talk Arkansas State football with first-year head football coach Gus Malzahn. Coach Malzahn, how are you doing this morning?
Hey, doing great, guys.
Well, that's good. We'll talk about the transition into your first head football coaching job at the collegiate level, coming from the Auburn Tigers. Of course, you were well known with Auburn.
Well, I tell you what, it's been a lot of fun. It's been very fast. I think I'm 6 months on the job, something like that. There's been a lot of speaking engagements, fundraising, things like that. And of course, I'm pretty excited that football's about here. I'm ready to talk some football and really get the season going.
Coach, you're in a unique situation at Arkansas State because you have a lot of background in that area, both in the high school ranks, obviously, and even we're going back to your brief time at Arkansas on that staff. Has that helped you in recruiting, just being familiar with the geographical area and you yourself, spending a lot of time living in Arkansas?
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Of course, I spent 15 years of coaching high school football in the state of Arkansas, so I'm very familiar with the coaches and the programs and really the dynamics of the state. So that has definitely helped, as far as recruiting. And, that's going to be the foundation of our recruiting base is going to be the state of Arkansas. So it's really good to be familiar with everything.
Well, Coach, talk about your offense. We all know about it, spread attack, and what you can do with it. Obviously, we saw the pinnacle of it with Cam Newton in 2010. I'm sure you're going to run that same offense. Just talk about it. Do you think the first year you'll have success with the offense? And talk about the running game. Do you think David Oku steps right in? And is Michael Dyer officially off the team?
Yeah, we will run a very similar offense to what we did at Tulsa and what we did at Auburn. We're a quarterback-oriented offense. We got a great quarterback in Ryan Applin coming back, for his senior year. So that really provides a lot of stability. As far as Michael Dyer, he won't be eligible this year, but the plan is for him to stay with us and be eligible next year. And David Oku, along with our other three running backs, will all be competing for the position. But we feel good about the running back position, and we've got some receivers, three senior receivers that have had a lot of success coming back. And of course, we lost three starters on the offensive line, and that'll be probably our biggest concern, going into the season. And we'll try to, get a unit together, for that first game.
Coach, I kind of have a two-part question. The first part is, obviously, with Arkansas State last year having the success that they did, my first question is, how does that help you transition into your head coaching job in your situation, even though you're going to be doing some things differently? And then I guess part two, on the flip side, Auburn seems to be going to a totally different style of offense and defense. So they have almost an opposite transition, if you will. Just talk about transition processes in general when coaches go from schools to schools and how that works out.
Well, first of all, Arkansas State, they got used to winning. They hadn't won in a long time, and they won 10 games last year. And so they know how to win, and I think that's very important. And of course, Hugh Freeze is a good friend of mine, and we're very similar with our offensive philosophies. So, I'd like to think that's going to be a really easy transition as far as us goes. As far as Auburn goes, they are transitioning to a different offense, but I assume they're going to do, some similar things, as we did in the past. And they've got a lot of guys back. They got most of their main players back, so I expect them to be, really good on offense.
Well, Coach, let's talk about that 2010 national championship season for you at Auburn. How special was that week in and week out? And you look at that early game against Mississippi State for Auburn that season, it's just like Cam Newton barely knew the system, and it just seemed week in and week out he just learned the system so great. Just how special was that season?
It really was special. It was a lot of fun to be a part of, and a lot of great memories. And like you said, that Mississippi State game was a very pivotal game. We had a short week. I think it was an ESPN Thursday night game with a new quarterback in our system, and we were still learning, about Cam and what he could and couldn't do. And of course, he helped us win that game, and then he just got better every week after that. And he had a lot of really good players around him, and our defense really complemented our offense. So
Do you think that individual season for Cam Newton was probably one of the best ever in college football?
Well, I'd like to think so. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of great players and great seasons, but, I think the unique thing about him and that situation is, he just came in during the spring and didn't have a year, before with the group, had new teammates, and what he did in 1 year's time in that league, in the SEC, when the defenses are good as they've ever been, was really something that's special. And of course, you saw how he did last year, first year pro. So sky's the limit for him. There's no telling how good he can be before it's all said and done.
Coach, my final question has to do with the high school ranks. We spoke with Joey Jones this morning. He obviously is the head coach at South Alabama. He's in your conference now, and he actually credited you for being one of the pioneers for giving other coaches in the high school ranks college opportunities. We talked to him about that. What do you think the reason it is now that many coaches in the high school ranks are getting opportunities as coordinators and head coaches on the collegiate level? Do you attribute any of that at all to the, 24-hour exposure of college recruiting these days? Do you think that plays a role?
I think it's all about connections. When you've got connections, and of course Todd Graham, he was one of the first high school coaches to become a coordinator, and then of course he hired me at Tulsa. And, the more high school coaches that have success at the college level, the more you're going to see. And so, all the college coaches that used to be high school coaches, they take a lot of pride and very good coaches. And so hopefully it'll be more and more in the future. And we have our own little group of former high school coaches, and we all kind of stick together. And it's a lot of fun to see the success a lot of these guys have had. The Chad Morrises of the world, and of course Joey too. I mean, he's a great high school coach, and he'll do a great job there.
Well, Coach, we know you have to make your rounds for the Sunbelt Media at the Football Media Day. Thank you for coming on for a few minutes and talking about year number one for you at Arkansas State.
Hey, Coach, we'd love to have you on again throughout the course of the year, and I'll be in touch with Jerry, and anything we can do to help you promote your program, you just let us know, okay?
Okay, thanks for having me.
Thanks so much.
All right, thank you.